Dr. John, and Margaret and I are here in Las Vegas Boulevard in front of some of the casinos, and we're here for MJ BizCon, which is a huge event held annually in Las Vegas in the industry that I work in, which is the cannabis industry. And that's, I believe, a lot of what we're going to cover is the story of how we created this industry and where it's gone to, and the struggles, the defeats, and the final victory of having an actual dignified cannabis industry in North America. And as you know, I've been everywhere from the top of the world on this, and sitting in the White House and in the Capitol in Washington D.C. To the prison cells of Terminal Island Federal Prison in Southern California, which is as ominous and ugly as it sounds. And here we are after that journey, after the case, going to prison, 3 years of parole. And now I can finally start talking about my story. The government wouldn't let me talk about my story for a long time. So that part of the journey, the quiet part of the journey, ended August 31st this year. And since then, we've been back to work, building holding companies and bringing what was a shadow-driven industry into the light, into the Western mainstream economic business philosophy, which is building holding companies that serve as investment vehicles and creating diverse ecosystems of an industry. And I think that's the other thing that we'll be covering as we move forward is the reward of mentorship. And the reason I say reward is because it's a process that has to be earned.
Uh-oh, we might have lost a little signal there.
And
we lost a little signal there for a minute. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are we back?
Now. We're back.
Okay. So the reason I say the reward of mentorship is because it's something that is earned. And being an apprentice, becoming a journeyman, a craftsman, an artisan in your trade is a process that you work for. And it's not something where you fill out a piece of paper and apply. It's a process where you show up at the gates and knock on the door, and you demonstrate the idea, the action of principles. And you know this, John. I mean, that's something that we've worked together on for decades. And so in that process, we earn our way, and then we get to the part where we have gray beards instead of red beards, in my case. And
I'm salt and pepper.
And salt and pepper beards. John and I started out as young men, and back when I was good looking, and he was better looking. So,
you have the best hand.
Now here, right?
Yep.
So I think that's some of the stuff that folks can look forward to getting involved with us and watching our shows. And I think I'm going to shut up and listen to you for a second, John.
Well, I'll just jump in and say that you're one of my mentors. And, sometimes in our lives, there's these leadership moments that mentors provide us that stick and just stick and are like a crucible for the rest of our lives. And so you gave me that one way back when we were dealing with Corey and Dick Bryden. By the way, we're losing your image right now.
Oops.
Yeah. Remember Corey Ma and Dick Bryden. And, there was just something you said to me in one of the meetings. You said, well, you just got to make that. I think you said 16 inch or 12 inch. I think 16 inch drop out of your head into your heart. And that's the whole game right there. Now I'm a scientist 30 years later, and I can prove that. And so, you know, that's the thing that, you know, these mentors have built us, and, you know, there's a lot of gratitude and loyalty that brews around that, which is the best of all things, especially, you know, for Marines. You know, loyalty is number one for us, among other groups. But, you know, so yeah, so the mentors, my mentors have formed me, Dan being one, of course. And there were other lessons, of course, than just that one, but that one is like a crucible, you know, to get in the heart. And the way you said it so casual, it just stuck. You said it as a matter of fact, actually. So, but, you know, and I've had great mentors. All of my victories are due to my mentors, and all of my losses are due to me not listening to them. So, you know, I've had great mentors. I can rattle off names all day long, but none are any bigger than you, Dan. So anyway, it's great to be here. I love to see you in Vegas.
Tell you that's a huge compliment, John, because I consider you to be one of the people that I have learned so much from in our process together. And I think that's another reward of mentorship is, you know, we get to know that we don't know what we don't know. And as we move forward, if I enter a situation with the attitude of I want to learn, I'm going to benefit in that situation universally, 360 degrees. Maybe I'll be able to drop some experience on folks, and hopefully I'll get to learn from folks. And then when the fit hits the shan, so to speak, well, then we are ready to walk through things and make it happen. You know, the other thing is much of what I do nowadays is I work with organizations who come and ask us. We've got a whole team here at my company, Mendocino Development Group. We've got a whole team of folks here that are tried, true, and tested. And so what's happened is many folks, especially in our industry, in the cannabis industry, come to us with, you know, they've got a lot of street smarts. They've got a lot of background in what they do. But what they don't have is a super strong team that can walk through just about any situation, deal with it appropriately, principled, with integrity, and come out together the other end even stronger. And so we spend a lot of our time teaching people how to get out of the garage and in the shadow, out of the shadows in the garage and get into the light. And that's a quote from a friend, Steve D'Angelo, who made that quote famous some time ago in our work together in creating this industry in North America. So if folks are interested in hearing about our experience, not only industrially, not only vocationally, not only spiritually and emotionally, maybe we can share our journey in also integrating a very strong financial component into all of our lives, which is since we live on this earth, we live in this world, we have to have freedom in this life. And freedom, you know, frankly, money brings a certain component of freedom. And that freedom to do what I want to do what we want to do, what we need to do, is the thing that A, makes the stuff that we're working on fun, and B, gives us an opportunity to actually grow in all those areas. And I think I learned a lot of that balance from you, John.
I was going to say the same thing. So when everything hits the fan and everybody's freaking out, Dan's just breathing.
Right.
And you know, when you have a mentor, well, when you're me, like an orphan, you know, you run to the mentor for everything. You know, no. You're supposed to be earning your right. I know, but can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have this? can you save my brother's life? Yes. Oh, put that in the record book. You know what I mean? So it's another aspect is that there's a bond, you know, that can build. That's just it's infinite, really. And I think really for all of us, we crave that synergy and that belonging and that teamwork. And mentorship is the perfect medium for it. I think, yeah,
You know,
got a little choppy. Let's see if you can come back.
it's multi-dimensional. Just you know, I mean, as we both know, we've turned each other recently. You know, when it comes to you know, going below the surface, so to speak, getting multi-dimensional, so to speak, you know, and one of the things I learned from you in life, John, is that the things that happen here on this plane are just a reflection of what's going on in our hearts and those dimensions that we cross through. And so, yeah, you got to grab a broom and a dustpan as we stand here on the ground and keep our area clean. But we also got to go inside, and we've got to cross those dimensions. We got to get in those shadows. We've got to, and now I'm talking to the expert, you, Dr. John. We've got to get in those shadows, clean things up, understand what they are, and bring them to light here, and then we get to keep a clean garden here, you know, and not only that, you know, when I meet people now, I don't just listen to what they have to say. You know, I scan them, and what's their body language? You know, are they looking you in the eye? You know, what are their intentions? What is it that they claim to be bringing to the table, and what is the mess they leave behind when they get up from the table? Or is the table a better place than it was before they got there, now that they're there? So, and these are the things that we have to do as we scan the folks that are going to be in our lives, the ones that we're going to rely on, the ones that we're going to trust in, and put our lives and our freedom in their hands, and vice versa. You know, how do we figure that out? How do we determine that that these folks are real? You know, recently you've helped me with some problems and some treachery going on in my life. And God, if you hadn't been there, brother, and I say that hopefully, I say that meaningfully. If you hadn't been there, brother, I wouldn't have been able to walk across that bridge to get to where I'm standing right now, which is on top of the world, right next to you.
Yes,
as
sir.
we've been for a long time. So, you know, I have a tendency to talk a lot, and I also take pride in knowing when to shut up and listen. And I'd like to hear your take on that stuff.
Well, yes, sir. Well, I just think, you know, I think it's fabulous that you come out with this, and I support it 1,000%. And you say I wouldn't be here but for my mentors either. So, you know, that creates a bond of loyalty that is really, I mean, well, can I say it beats marriage? No, but you know, it's enriching to the life, you know, and fulfilling in every way. So, and it's a thing that tough guys don't usually elaborate. So that's what's so, you know, been so fabulous is that, you know, you, Dick Bryden, a few of my mentors, you could always come to them, you know, and if you had a black eye and a broken tooth, they could understand and help you out with it. So, you know, everybody should have mentors, you know, as many as they can get, in my opinion. And people should have you as a mentor if they want to win.
Right, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to win. And I want to address something real quickly. I'm a product of the '60s, and I smoke cigarettes. I'm a clean and sober man, and I take pride in that. Not only do I take pride in it, and I benefit from it, but you know, none of us are perfect, and I have a few things like coffee and cigarettes. So if people see that while we're doing our shows, it's just an expression of my comfort in sharing what we're sharing. And but kids, don't smoke cigarettes. Don't start.
I want them off coffee too.
Right?
I got some tea from South America you got to try.
We
Spain.
we may try. I may try that with you. And my whole life now is about making sure the rest of the world has access to earth medicines and to wellness that's put here on the planet. And all we have to do is gather it up and prepare it and consume it. And that's about wellness. Eating good foods, the right herbs, the right teas, the right mushrooms, the right cannabis, and all that stuff doesn't have to be about getting high. It's about using it, not abusing it, in the ways that it was put on the planet to benefit us. And actually, I have a great time in this wellness that I enjoy today. And I think a lot of people can benefit from these earth medicines. You know, bioceutical, nutraceutical, you know, wellness gifts from our Mother Earth.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of folks can see that you and I, John, are both cavemen. We both stormtrooped through life in this hopefully not imposing, but certainly masculine approach to life that we have. And they're all just roles. And in our case, I think we're really comfortable in these roles. I enjoy my role. Being a father and, a son and a husband and, a member of my community, a guardian of my community. Somebody who is willing to dig in and accept responsibility for what goes on in the space that we occupy and multi-dimensionally, even for that matter. And I think that that's a role. That's another thing about mentorship is it helped me find my roles and it helped me embrace them. And when you're comfortable with yourself and your role and who and what you are, and as an artisan, you can use the energies in your life that can, in a way that benefit the people in your life, not so much benefit ourselves. And my attitude is if I benefit the people in my life is going to be virtuous because I'm going to have good people in my life. And, that's that process of principles, integrity in your life results in virtue in your life.
How about that? Yes, sir.
So we also don't have to be Mother Teresa. That's somebody else's role. And there are lots of Mother Teresas out there that I want to support and make sure that they can feed the world. And so, yeah, finding the balance. God, I love your background, John. It's outstanding.
Not bad. It's a start, sir.
Right?
Yeah, I still got some issues to work out, but we're working on it. We'll get you one if you want.
I actually like this one right now. I'm having a good time being here in Vegas.
Absolutely.
It's I got to tell you, this is my other home. Margaret and I live in the village of Mendocino, which is one of the most enchanted places on the planet I've ever seen. Ancient redwood trees along the North Pacific Ocean shore.
Are you gonna mention the retreats up there?
Yes. Oh yeah. So we're planning retreats, and there'll be a few different categories. Small, intimate. Not individual, but small and intimate retreats that are more personal. And then we're also going to have some organizationally driven retreats that are designed to help folks and help their companies and help their unions and help their organizations you know, fraternities, sororities, whatever that thing is in life that you're depending on. You know, larger groups, we're going to address that, have retreats for those. And then as we move forward with those, we're going to see where that takes us. And definitely there'll be an industrial component that comes out of it, because people in business nowadays, they just got to understand you're nothing without a team, and your team is only as good as you are and as good as you make the people in your team. And the world has gotten so cutthroat, especially in the business world. And it really just, it doesn't have to be like that. And at the end of the day, you should be able to go home with the people you came to the dance with. And I got to tell you, that's another great gift I've had in life. You know, we have, there are more people in my life that I've known for 50 years than that I've just met. And I like that. You know, I like being able to make that solid commitment to folks that I give in return to the solid commitment that they come with. And it works. I mean, you know, we both have people been in our lives forever. This is a nice little casino scene over here. I love this place. I love the little casinos. And I love Las Vegas. So this is our other home. This is where we do business. And so we'll also have some Vegas retreats. And we've got a lot of folks here we work with, everywhere from the, you know, gaming, entertainment, service, lodging, events, and obviously, of course, cannabis. And so that's the other thing I think that people should understand is I think that, you know, what we're doing is best prepared and served to grown-ups. And this is probably not a good place for kids.
Well, you know, my experience too with the dispensaries in the MJ industry, but I used to moonlight and do, you know, armed guard work. And I used to do, you know, the worst neighborhoods of Sacramento, which, you know, where we're from, we look at it and go, wow, this is nice. You go, no, that's the worst neighborhood we have. We go, oh, okay. But they would come in and they've got these mean mugs on, you know, the like gremlins, and they're, you know, mad from the neighborhood, and they're mad because they're hard, you know, street gangster. And they come and they, you know, they see me and I see them and they start grinning. They look like you know, the other ones that they turn into, the little fuzzy creatures, you know, and they start grinning and they're happy. It's amazing, because what a great thing for the community. You got all these, you know, would be, you know, real hard angle guys that, you know, are into trouble, and they instead are going to chill out and be nice. And they're nice when they, you know, start telling me little stories and stuff. So I have to vouch for that. We also used to let them, you know, we used to let them smoke in the Mirage Club. I don't know if you remember, Eighth Townsend used to have the Mirage Club over in San Francisco. And we had all the black gangs from the Bay Area, all of them. And we managed not to have hardly any violence over a year and a half that we were there, until finally there was something that happened. But they go, I was captain. They called me Cap back then. They go, Cap, they're smoking in the bathroom. I said, that's good. They said, well, I mean, you know, the laws. I said, look, okay. So I went in there, I asked them, could you guys just please like duck when we look, or if we come in the bathroom, pretend to like put it away for a second. And they go, yeah. I mean, it's just clouded, you know, like a steam room, right? And you know, just dank, you know, and it comes seeping out into the club, and everybody gets in a better mood, because I mean, there was a lot of trigger happy guys there, if you can imagine. I'll roll off. If I was to tell you the names of the gangs that were there, it's unbelievable that we did it as long as we did without, you know, more trouble. But you so I have that. It's always, and then they would tell me stories about the dog fights. Of course, they give the dogs cannabis after the fights. So talk about instant peace. So I've always, I've been impressed with the industry right along and the product, which, in the ancient histories, we could look at Anubis in Egypt, whose job was to weigh the heart of the person who wanted to seek their immortality. And so he would stand there at the gates of immortality and weigh their heart. Well, that's the same thing that Canna Anubis does, really, if you look at it, and it lets the heart to be the heart, and so one thing is we get self-conscious, right? Well, some of that has to do with the fact that the heart doesn't really do lies and blockages and stuff like the brain. So when we drop out of the brain into the heart, the 16-inch drop, a lot of the lies just fall down. And, one of the things with you, Big Dan, is that there never was a lie in the first place. So, you were always like that. You're always in your heart, always calm, cool, collected, generous, and potent, of course. So I do vouch for the industry. I know some people think, may say that with so many dispensaries across America, it may be contributing to the demise of our mental health. And I go, on the contrary, you're surviving by it at this point. Now, fentanyl, that's a problem.
Fentanyl's a problem. Powdered drugs are a problem. Heroin, LSD, cocaine. That's I'm an advocate to end the drug war because I think that.
Oh, we lost you for a sec.
It would surface that rather than allowing it to flourish in the shadows and in crack houses and all the places where the worst of humanity and just the worst entities in the universe gather. When you get rid of those environments, you at least what the problem is. It's in the daylight, and you can work on it. Yeah, I mean, people have to stay away from hard drugs. They're just they're not anything that's going to be helpful. As far as I'm concerned. On the other hand, cannabis is an earth medicine. It's a earth product, and it's a gift. And there again, if people are just looking to get high and check out, I mean, you can do that with anything. You can sniff glue or pull kitchen cabinet stuff out. And, you can guzzle Clorox, and these drugs that people are strung out on now, and literally, that is what's destroying a big part of of the spirit of our culture. And there's so many people.
Lost you for a second.
That are hooked on pain pills, and they don't realize that they're right. They don't realize they're drug addicts. That, well, I got it from the doctor, and so it must be good. And the pharmaceutical industry is, one of the most evil entities I've ever seen in my life. Them in the DMV. But I mean, seriously, that's and that's a whole series of shows that we'll do on that.
Yeah, especially let's go. We should critique the commercials now, because you remember, it used to be there's a couple of side effects they tell you about with and the names they come up with now for the new pharmaceuticals, and then they show everybody dancing around, like they have the overweight girl. She's supposed to get some kind of Librium or something. And she's dancing around in some kind of party zone and everything. And I'm like, and then they go, oh, and the side effects, and they're much longer than the
right.
The good effects now, way longer, and possible death. And I'm like, okay, let's take some of that.
We're like the only country in the world where the pharmaceutical industry can put ads on television in the media to tell your doctor to give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. That's just insane. And that's
Brave New World.
Right?
Yeah, I remember Brave New World, and they issued, I believe it was Brave New World in 1984. Those books were kind of iconic, and they issued everyone Soma, a pharmaceutical, to pacify them.
And it's unfortunate now that we've got three generations of kids now that have been raised. If you don't feel good, the doctor's going to give you a pill, and that pill is going to fix everything for you. And so what happens then? You know, people give up on going inside themselves, finding their own strengths, finding their own balance. You know, and when we don't go inside ourselves and find our own strengths, and we rely on some pill on the outside, what happens when the pill's gone? And then what is this creature that we have created that doesn't have any skills? No coping skills, no life skills.
Really good
Certainly
argument
no,
skills. Well, not good, but
right?
pleasurable argument.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, they need a safe place. That's nobody gave me a safe place. I grew up in East Oakland. The safest place I had was 7-Eleven, and that was so I could run out the back door and, you know, figure out a way to circle back and fight back with you. People just, there's such a lack of character in the world, and it's the pharmaceutical industry is one of the biggest reasons. And now we've got kids that have just been people, grown adults, that think the only solution they've been told that they're broken and that the only way to fix themselves is to take a pill. And it's just insane. And then what happens? You got people on the roof of a hotel with
We lost you there. You're back. Okay.
guns, mowing people out what's going on with themselves, or they've found some fundamentalist thing in life that is the only thing that they find their place in. I mean, it's why you don't have serial killers in a lot of places in the world, and you certainly don't have mass murderers in a lot of places in the world. It's sad, and that's something else that I think people can find here. If you're lost and you don't know which way to go, but you want to find yourself, you want to set that pill bottle aside, or you want to set that whatever that crutch is aside, and you want to go on a journey and do that 16-inch drop down into your heart. Find yourself in there, and find every other tool that's available to us that we'll never find if we're busy opening a pill bottle and not going inside. So I get excited when I talk about this stuff. The other thing I found is if I'm passionate about something, that's the thing I'm doing, and that's the thing I'm going to be doing. So and that's where I've gotten rid of the idea of, and people know I'm a recovering addict. So I'm not some guy sitting on a hill pointing fingers at people saying I'm better than you. I'm some guy sitting here on a street corner telling you we're the same, and I'll help you find the same thing that people help me find. Because I could have never found it on my own. And if I hadn't have found what I've found, I wouldn't be, I have the most delightful and fulfilling marriage I could ever have asked for. I have a place in my industry that I helped create that I couldn't be happier with. I mean, I could be, and I'm going to be. As a matter of fact, I'm working on that every day because, happiness is something that's meant to grow. I have a good place in life as far as comfort. And sure, there's challenges. You got to pay the bills. You got, people are barking at you. You got responsibilities. Yeah, you have to get up off your butt every morning and actually do something. Oh my God. What do they call that? Life. Right?
In the Bible as well, faith without works is dead. The work part is what people don't get on a pill. Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, when you grow up in East Oakland and you've got to have two friends to get to the store, to go buy your mom's loaf of bread and milk, or whoever, whatever. A lot of folks don't have parents. But what, you know, I mean, when you have to rely on people to get down the street alive and get back home with the stuff that you went for and keep it and get home alive, you learn how to rely on other people. And it's in those circumstances where, you know, you're fighting for your life. You're certainly fighting for your dignity, your safety. You know, you're certainly faced with potential brutality. And you really learn how to judge somebody in situations like that. And, you know, it's what helps us reach across. You know, I grew up in a place where John, grew up in places where nobody looked like us. Nobody. Nobody. Maybe your brother, right? I'm an only child, so I didn't have anybody. And you know, we had to survive to learn how to thrive in a tough environment where you know, you learn those skills in life, and then you find the people that did the same thing and they learned those skills, and then you all find the people that have those skills and make them available, but they're not going to give them to you. You got to work for them. You know,
Earn the right.
right? It's like that. You know, you went in the Marines. Nobody was standing there going, "Well, it's nice to see you." We have a lovely little spot over here for you to lounge in. And by the way, if things get a little tough, we've got a little safe spot over here for you to kind of, you know, get centered and deal with everything. And of course, you know, we have those 3 lovely meals a day. You know, I mean, it wasn't like that. Shit, in the 1940s, 18-year-old, 19-year-old boys were, you know, in a world war, fighting for their lives and the lives of the people that they're there with. And, you know, that's a generation that was the greatest generation that built a generation that boomed economically, spiritually, and people weren't perfect in those days. And nobody's ever going to be perfect. But if you want to learn how to live life and live the best life you can live in a way so that your best life makes the best life you can for those around you, that's virtuousness. And man, I get to live a virtuous life, not because I'm a virtuous guy. I get to live a virtuous life because I live a principled life with integrity and with others that live the same way. And, you know, that process creates this virtuousness in our lives that we get to enjoy and benefit from. You know?
You're not a choir boy then, sir?
You know, I got to tell you, John, and you know, we grew up around some iconic people of our time that they write books about, make movies about, and that people are desperate to read the books they write and watch the shows they create. And some of you know, I mean, in our neighborhood, biggest mama boys you ever wanted to meet. You know, you could the guys that we ran with, you could tell us you're going to lock us up, you're going to beat us, you're going to run us over with the car, but please don't tell my mom. Please don't tell my mom. And you know what? A lot of those guys, when that tough exterior that you don't have to project to make it through life, when you sit down with those guys, like you said, John, the greatest stories in the world.
Yeah.
The biggest fuzzy-hearted guys in the world, guys and gals in the world that you can imagine. The sweetest people on the planet. I grew up with a simple rule. My goal is to leave everyone and everything better than I find them. if they will allow me to. Some people will not allow you to leave them better than you find them because they don't know how to do that. You know, they don't know how to be benefited. So, how far are we in this now?
If I'm calling it, I'm going to say we're good for this initial episode. And we can kind of wrap up and head into the next one. I'll be looking forward to getting some, perhaps we can run data across the bottom of the screens and stuff to let people know about how to hook into your retreats, how to get to your webpage and et cetera like that. We'll get all that. Maybe I'll speak with Miss Nicole and ask her to have that maybe run somewhere in the Rumble and the YouTube, which she'll produce from this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this process. I think you can see the flame in my heart that's burning that you helped stoke for this process.
I can see it. I can see it, brother.
And I see yours.
Right on.
I always call you brother. You always call me sir. We're, at times in our lives we've been, the contrast in life and the two opposite ends, but the same guy in the middle. And I just always so much appreciate everything that you, the bar that you set, John, that makes me want to meet it is just ineffable, indescribable.
Well, thank you, brother. We have a lot to live up to when we have mentors of such great stature. It actually makes it easy for us to be motivated, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to let it down. You're not going to let your mentor down.
Yeah. And if people are out there and they're feeling empty and they're lost and they don't know which way to go, keep tuning in and, hit that like button and, leave a comment.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
All the podcasts are going to say, hit the like button and subscribe.
Yeah. And by the way, I love criticism. So feel free to leave us comments and tell us what's really going on.
Okay. Yes, sir. I mean, yes, brother. Okay. Well, that's great. I sure appreciate, having this time with you. Looking forward to more time with you when we get the schedules together. I'll be definitely wanting to attend your sessions as well. And I know a few others that will be breaking down the gates to get there. So thank you. Thank you for today. And, thank you for all that you do.
And let me get through this convention here, John, and I'll call you later, and then we'll plan the next set of shows.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you.